So if you are thinking of building a video marketing strategy, you are not the only one. This is a very common ask that I get. I'm a social media manager and I do videos here on YouTube that talk all about social media trends and strategies and things like that. And I get a ton of questions from personal brands, influencers, small businesses, corporations even asking, hey, we really want a video marketing strategy, but we do not know where to start. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to be going over 5 steps that you need to answer for yourself before hopping into video for your business or brand. Okay, so the first thing that you want to determine is what you want to say. I know that is pretty obvious, but video marketing can do a number of different things for your business or for your brand. It can act as an awareness tool. It can act as lead generation or sales. It can be customer support or training and tutorials. There are so many different things that video can do. So make sure that you figure out what you really need it to do for you and what your customers or clients are going to respond well to. So one of the things that I recommend for my clients when they're first getting started is just going over their FAQ list. A lot of you guys probably already have a list of FAQs on your website. If you don't yet, I'm sure you know just in your head what some of the common questions are that your customers ask you. So think about those things. Honestly, a lot of those could be individual videos on their own. For me, like I said, I do social media. I create courses around social media. So some of the biggest questions that I get are, well, how much do you cost? What does it look like to work with you long-term on like a coaching basis? What does it look like to work with you on kind of a one-time campaign basis? What types of services do you offer? Where do you work? What's your work style like? So all of those 5 or 4 things that I just mentioned could honestly be videos on their own. I could do a day in my life, which I do all the time to kind of show what it's like to work with me. I could do a video on pricing and how much I charge. I could do a video on what my services are. You get the deal. So go over those things. I think that's a great place to start. You already know that people are going to be searching for them and you can easily pop them into places that you're already active on, like your social channels or your website. The next thing you want to do is figure out where you want to be. So if we were having this conversation 5, 7, 10 years ago, the answer would be pretty simple. It'd be YouTube, right? Like that's really the only social media video platform that was out there. But now, we have Instagram, we have Instagram stories, we have Instagram TV, we have Twitter, we have Facebook video, we have Snapchat. What else am I missing? LinkedIn. I'm sure I'm missing others. There are so many different video platforms out there, so you can't be on all of them. I mean, maybe you can, but should you? Probably not. I focus my energy personally on YouTube and a little bit on Instagram, and that's pretty much it. I don't do LinkedIn video, I don't really do Facebook video. Maybe I'll get there eventually, but for now, for the types of content that I produce, these are the platforms that make the most sense to me. I went to a conference here in Detroit recently called Digital Summit. I usually go every year. I've been going for the past few years. It's a really good conference, and one of the people who was presenting was from Animoto, and his talk was really pretty good. He actually shared this slide, and I took a picture of it, so I'll insert that tweet here. And he showed some of the major video marketing platforms and sort of what their purpose is. So he showed, Facebook is really just for kind of keeping up with updates and what's new. So let's say you have a brick and mortar business. Facebook is a great place to hop on live and say, hey, it's a holiday weekend, these are gonna be our hours, or let's walk around the store and show you what's new. Here's a community event we're doing, that kind of thing. Instagram, it's very image heavy. It's all about that aesthetic, and it's for inspiration and motivation and creativity and all of that fun stuff. So if you have beautiful things to share, whether it's like beautiful clothing, if you own a store, beautiful people, if you want to have some kind of dialogue and talking, beautiful animations, all of that stuff works really, really well on Instagram. And there are kind of 3 different types of Instagram video now, but I think Instagram in general is all about that aesthetic and what looks good, and it's also very quick moving, so that's something to keep in mind too. It's not going to be something that you can direct people to go watch your video on Instagram from 8 days ago. People aren't going to dig back that far. So keep things like fresh and in the moment. Twitter is all about what's current. So what's going on right now in the world. It's very heavy on news and politics. So for any people who are in the news or in media or even like influencers who are talking about trending topics, Twitter is a great place to be. Don't forget that you can do video on Twitter. They're shorter, but you can still do it. And it's still a place that I know I go to, and I watch videos on Twitter sometimes. And then of course, YouTube. YouTube is all about education. So as you can see, as you got here to this video, you were probably searching social media strategy, video marketing strategy, or you are probably an existing subscriber, which if you are, thank you so much. And if you aren't, make sure to, I don't know why I do this every time I want people to subscribe, but I guess I subconsciously want people to thumbs up as well. So if you're not a subscriber yet, please do make sure to click subscribe. We post videos every week, and go ahead and give me a thumbs up too, since I like doing this, I guess. But yeah, if you're already a subscriber, you probably subscribed to me because I gave you some type of valuable educational content in the past. So that's just a general guideline. There's more than education on YouTube. There's more than inspiration on Instagram, of course, but those are just kind of general guidelines. And then you also want to look at your demographics and see, where your audience or your customer base already is, because if all of them are on YouTube and none of them are on Snapchat, don't get on Snapchat. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Snapchat, or oh my gosh, Instagram, I need to be there. And it's like, your demographic is much older or much younger or doesn't behave that way. So it doesn't make sense for you to waste your time and energy there. And then next, you'll want to get your equipment together. So honestly, you guys, please don't go out and buy a $5,000 camera just to get started, because there's a few reasons why I don't recommend people do that. Number one, it's a lot of money. And before you know if this is going to be profitable or give you the return, it just doesn't make sense to make an investment that big. Two, it's overwhelming. I see a lot of people do that and then they're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to use this expensive DSLR camera. I don't know how to use this expensive lighting, so I'm just not going to do it at all. And three, it's just not necessary. It's honestly not necessary until you get to a certain level, until you start producing a certain type of video. I've been making videos for years and being very successful in my terms, and I do not have a $5,000 camera. My camera is under $1,000. So honestly, you can start on this, on your phone. I have the iPhone 7 Plus or the camera on my BlackBerry Key 2. Both of these are perfect cameras. Nothing's wrong with them. They shoot in 1080p. That's really all you need. If you want to take things up a step, there are several different tools that you can use, but this is one that I really, really recommend. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It is called the Smart Cine. So I'm going to go over a couple of different shots with you, sort of unbox it. I actually recently got it. I've been looking for an iPhone or a camera phone rig for a really long time, and I'm so happy with this. By now, when you are watching this video, it should be listed on Kickstarter, so I'm gonna have that link down in the description box so you can check it out. But it is basically just a smartphone rig. So this is what it looks like. It has kind of this monopod here at the bottom, which actually unscrews. So you can also attach this top part just to a full-size tripod, which I definitely recommend getting in conjunction with this. I'll list the one that I use down below as well if you're curious. But this on its own makes for a really great mobile handheld experience. So all that you do is you pop your phone, you move these things up and down to adjust for your different phones. Like I said, I've been testing out the new BlackBerry, and also my phone that I use in my day-to-day life is this iPhone. So the iPhone is quite a bit bigger, so I can use this with both of these phones. You just move this up and down to, attach on, and then you can kind of see the camera poking out through there. There's different lenses that you can attach onto this. There's a wide angle lens and a fisheye lens, so you can totally change up the look of your shot. There's also this great microphone, which is huge. I think a lot of people forget how important sound is to videos. And one thing that I just do not think that any of the phone companies have really gotten right yet for cell phones is sound. It's hard because it's a phone. It's not supposed to be a video camera. That's not supposed to be its primary function. So it's really good to have an external mic. There's going to be a cable that connects from here to your phone. If you are using the iPhone, any of the newer iPhones, you'll need to use your dongle with it. So keep that in mind. The ring light is super cool too, because at night here, you can turn it on. It's pretty sunny right now, so I'll give you guys an example in a dark room or something like that. But you can turn it on, and then you can vary the intensity from high to medium to low as well. So you can, record interviews with people at night. Let's say that you're on a red carpet and you want to do an interview with somebody, or you just are filming at your store or in your office and it's just not really well lit. You don't need a huge softbox like I have. You don't need a huge ring light quite yet. This is a really, really great option. It's all attached, and then you can also just recharge it with a little cable, a USB type cable. The next thing that you want to think about is, how will you measure success? So Again, video marketing can accomplish a lot of different things, and I think sometimes people just assume that the goal of video marketing is to make money, like to make money on YouTube. And that's some people's goal. For me, that's never been my goal, is to make money through Google AdSense. Now, that might be yours, and that's totally okay. If your goal is to make money through YouTube, you want to think, you know, what does that monetization strategy or process look like for you? Are you going to do Google AdSense? Are you going to do affiliate links? Are you going to do sponsorships? Are you going to, you know, release merchandise to sell? How exactly are you going to monetize? And some of it's not going to happen overnight, of course, but how are you measuring success? How do you know that what you're doing is working? How do you know that the investments that you're making in your equipment, you know, in your cameras, your lights, your smart CNA, all of that stuff, how do you know that that is working for you? So determine that strategy. For me, my ultimate goal, it's never to make a ton of money necessarily directly through YouTube, like through sponsorships or views, but it's always been to increase conversions on my website. So, you know, I don't do hard sells very often where I'm like, hey, buy this, or hey, book me for this. But I do get a lot of inquiries. Actually, YouTube is my highest traffic referral to my contact page, to my course sales. So that's how I measure success. You know, if traffic is up on my website, you know, referral traffic from YouTube, then I'm doing good that month. I don't care what Google AdSense says. I don't care what the number of views says. Sometimes I'll have videos that only get 100 views, which is very low compared to my subscriber count, but it'll have a crazy conversion rate over on my website or on my course site. So that's how I measure success. So think about what it means to you. Maybe if you're a brick and mortar business, it's, you know, number of people who walk in the door. Maybe it's number of ticket sales if you have an event that you're promoting, webinar signups. I mean, whatever it is that your business goal is, you should be able to somehow tie that back to YouTube or whatever video marketing platform that you're using. Figure out a way to track that and tie the story together. And then lastly, you will want to repurpose and recycle your content. This is something that I'm working really hard on myself. I create so much content all the time. I know if you're a subscriber, you probably know that I create a ton of content, and it can go overwhelming sometimes, and sometimes it can feel like I am doing it in vain. So one thing that I'm really trying to push myself to do is actually repurpose that content. A couple of ways that I'm doing that in the next few months are using some of my existing popular videos for Freelance Friday podcast episodes. So I'm on season 2 of my podcast right now, and I will be going on a mid-season break pretty soon here. Last time I went on a break, I just left my podcast just kind of dead, you know, nothing uploaded at all. So I figured this time what I'll do is I'll take some of my older videos that a lot of my podcast listeners have never heard before or seen before. I'll rip the audio, you know, add a little bit of flavor to it, of course, and then upload them onto my podcast so that there's still content going out even while I'm on my mid-season break and preparing for the next season. So that's one of the ways that I'm repurposing my content. Another thing that I'm doing right now for one of my clients is she's done a lot of Facebook Live videos in the past. They're really great. She does kind of like DIY type stuff. They're really great, but they're 30 minutes long. So that type of content doesn't translate too well over to Instagram because Instagram is very quick moving. It's shorter, bite-sized pieces of things. So what I've been doing is watching those videos, taking screenshots, taking video recordings, using some of my Instagram story hacks. I'll have a link for that video down below and some of the programs in there, and creating little bite-sized Instagram stories to kind of repurpose that content so we're not totally starting from scratch and having to create Instagram stories and Facebook Lives. We don't need to do both. You can use them kind of together. I've seen a lot of YouTubers use their Instagram stories or their Snapchat stories as parts of their vlogs. So there's so much that you can do. You don't need to reinvent the wheel every time. That's really exhausting and a lot of work. So those are my 5 tips for starting a video marketing strategy of your own. I hope this video was helpful. Leave me a thumbs up if it was. And again, don't forget to subscribe, and do not forget to check out the Smart CNA. They did send me this device. I'm so grateful for it because I've been looking for a smartphone rig like this for so long. This is honestly so cool, exactly what I needed. So definitely recommend you guys check it out. It should be on Kickstarter by the time that you're watching this, and it'll be the first link in the description box. So go ahead and check that out, show them some love. And I think this is honestly a like an essential tool in any social media manager's toolbox, honestly. It's super helpful and has kind of changed the game for me. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon in a new video. Bye.